I should be happy today because today was actually profitable, but for some reason I'm upset. Actually, I know why I'm upset because of my last trade was a loser, but the first one on AMD was a winner. The second one on MU Micron Technology was a loser. I had a big winner on Johnson and Johnson and a small loser on Baba, and I'm upset with Baba because it stopped me out and now it's going in my direction. But what can you do? So let's get to the trades. The first trade was on AMD Advanced Micron. What does Advanced Micro Devices Incorporated? And what I saw on AMD. So AMD is one of those stocks that is always on my watch list. It's on one of my charts. I watch 12 stocks simultaneously, so I have 12 charts up. So AMD is usually on this side of the monitor. I have my main laptop, and I have two external monitors, one to the left and one to the right. So on AMD, what I saw was in the open this topping tail, which implies selling pressure. The price tried going up, but it got pushed down by sellers, and the next bar engulfed the body of the first green bar, and I actually went short right here at 28.78, but I didn't get filled until 28.74, and we went down, and I covered at this level because I noticed we bounced off of it once, and then on the second time around we looked like we were gonna close above it, so I I took off the trade right here. So on AMD I got in at 28.74, and I covered my position at 28.58. So I shorted the stock, meaning that I was betting the price was going to go down, and that's what happened. I initially wanted to cover at this red line, which is the 200 moving average, but yeah, this was the first trade, so I just wanted to lock in some profit, and that's what I did. The second trade was on MU, and MU is unfortunate. It could have been a winner, but I moved up my stop. That's why it's so important to stick to our original stop. So what happened on MU, Micron Technology, is also a stock that I trade all the time. I saw these two topping tails in the open, one tail, two tail, and I really liked this red bar. This red bar was massive. It was huge. It told me that sellers were in control of this stock, and then once the buyers tried making a comeback, they got shut down here, these two topping tails. So at some point this tail right here, this topping tail, was all green, but sellers pushed it down and again pushed it down. So trusting these two double tails, topping tails, these two topping tails in this red violent bar, I went short, and we were at VWAP as well. I went short with so I went short at 43.23, and my risk was right here of 43.31 originally. So the break of these two topping tails, and it went in my direction. It dropped, but it was not enough for me to cover a profit or a lock in profit. And once this bar, which was at some point red, but it closed with a bottoming tail, which implies buying pressure, and the fact that this was a pre-market low, so it bounced off pre-market low. I thought, and then the following bar was a powerful green bar, buyers just stepping up, and I got out before my stop loss. And if I hadn't done that, if I had stuck to my stop, and then the trade would have worked, because it did chop around, but it eventually hit my target. My target was this red line, this 200 moving average, which also coincided with the 5-minute chart, and also the whole number of 43. And yeah, I would have definitely hit my target, but what can you do? So the next trade was on Johnson Johnson, J&J, and I was watching J&J in the pre-market because the company was ordered to pay $6 billion for what was it, for their antipsychotic drug that actually made teenagers boys develop women-like breasts. So they got sued and they have to shell out $6 billion. So I knew that the stock was weak, and in the pre-market, yeah, it gapped down in the pre-market as well. And what I saw was we were, well, in the open it sold off, and then buyers tried making a comeback, but they got stopped right here by the sellers, the red bar, and then we slowly started selling off, and I went short at 129.87, trusting the 130 to act as resistance, and my stop was VWAP. So my stop was at the time, actually no, my stop was the high of this bar, so my stop was 130.32. That was my risk. I figured if it came up to here, it was most likely gonna move higher and try to test this red 200 moving average. And it after I went short, it consolidated, and I was getting nervous, but I told myself, no, we're gonna stick to our stop, because what happened on MU, we didn't stick to our original stop, and we got stopped out unnecessarily, and MU dropped and made the move that you wanted to make. So we're not gonna make the same mistake with J&J. So I held, even the fact that when I saw this was holding, this was low of day, and it did push up, but by that point I had moved my stop actually from 130.34 to just right above VWAP, 130.35 ish, because I figured it's gonna probably test VWAP, reject VWAP, and go down. This would have been a good place to add, but I was already at full position and I didn't want to increase my risk. And after that, it dropped. I locked in profit. I covered some at 129.16, because we came down to 129. I was looking to lock in profit at 129.02, right at the whole number, but I didn't like this bottoming tail, and we hesitated right here, so I just took some off, and the rest I took off at 129. The rest I took off at 129.03, because my target was this 128.49. I was going to lock in profit at 128.52, right, 2 cents above the $0.50 support. And but what I didn't like was it spiked, and this is kind of odd because I had a stop at this point. Once I locked in profit right here, I had a stop at 129.31, and it spiked. This, I'm not sure if this is real or if this is fake, but I did not even see it. It happened in a fraction of a second, and it came down. And once it came down, this scared me, so I just locked in the rest of my profit. So J&J was a really good trade. I'm happy with the way I managed the trade, and good thing I got out here because it never did reach my target. But I was able to capture close to a point move on J&J. And my last trade was on Alibaba, and this was my fourth trade, so I only take four trades nowadays. No matter what, whether I'm winning or losing, I'm gonna take four trades. I do play around with my share size, so if I'm profitable and then I decrease my share size and decrease my risk. And on Baba, what I saw was, so in the open we sold off this these big red bars, and then we found a bottom at 163.42, and on the 5 minute we bounced off the 200 moving average, and I saw that the stock was at yesterday's high. So this, let me do this. So I saw the stock was at yesterday's high, and I liked this topping tail and the fact that buyers tried making a comeback and sellers said no and took them out. And so I felt this was going to act as resistance. So I went short at 165.05 with a stop right the break of these three bars, 165.42. That's where I put my stop, and I got stopped out. It kept consolidating and it hit my stop. I got stopped out, and now I don't know what it wants to do. I don't know if it wants to move higher or go down, but this trade upset me because I thought, yeah, well, I was already profitable, so I did not take a lot of shares on this. I still end of the day green, but for some reason I didn't want to lose on this trade, but I did. The other stock that I was watching, which so before I made the Baba trade, I was watching Nvidia, and I wanted to buy here because this line is pre-market low. And we had the 200 moving average. So I wanted to go to buy it here at like 179.21, and if I had done that, I would have captured close to $1 move on it. But instead of Nvidia, I chose Alibaba to trade, and that's what upset me about the Baba trade, because I initially wanted to take a Nvidia, but I chose Alibaba, so I chose the wrong stock and I got stopped out. That being said, despite today being a profitable day, and I batted 50%, two winners and two losers, I still don't feel good right now. I don't feel good, but hopefully that will change. I'm not gonna take any more trades because 4 trades, that's all the trades that I'm going to take. If you made similar trades as me today, feel free to comment below and let me know how you handled your trade and what I could have done to improve my trades or maximize my profitability. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.